Alright guys, here's a really important video, and it's to do with, it's kind of a bit of a reliability when you're touring. You know, I know you want to see all the outback and all the touring videos, and we'll have plenty of those, but I remember back in secondary school when my automotive teacher, right? So he's a motor mechanic. We're going back a few years, right? We're going back about 30 years, whatever it is. And one piece of advice he gave me, and I don't know if it's touring or mechanical, but I'm going to put it under touring, right? Because that advice was, whatever you do, even if you're a mechanic or not or whatever, make sure you've got RACV, because we're in Victoria, right? RACV, Queensland, RACQ, whatever state, you know, and they all sort of, I don't know if it's all the same organisation or they all work together or whatever it is, whatever, right? So you're covered across the nation as far as I know, my understanding, and it's the way it's worked for a number of people that are members interstate and locally, getting towed long distance locally and interstate, right? Getting their cars home, whatever, after more major failures, if you like. And we can go through a few of what those failures are, but the main thing I just want to say to you is that I excuse me, 110% totally agree. His advice was solid. Now, a lot of his advice wasn't that solid. Like, he didn't look after his car very well, right? You know, so, you know, but then his excuse was, you know, mechanics' cars never get looked after. Well, that's never been the case with mine. But anyway, so I reckon you've got to be able to look after your own vehicle as well. So you've got to make the time, set that standard. It's not that. The point is, we've just had someone else that's caught out with their vehicle 800 k's from home without a towing service. Could cost thousands of dollars. Now, if you've got thousands of dollars and you think your vehicle's pretty reliable, or it's fairly new within 5 years, where they offer warranties and sometimes towing, and you better check the fine print, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, and there's limits and all that. But it's up to you to make the decision. I'm just going to say, think about it. Now, there's different levels of cover, okay? Now, I'm going to give you my recommendation, and my recommendation is, this time it's not do as I say, not as I do, it's do as I say and as I do, because we have RACV Total Care. It's the top cover. It's about it's over $200 a year, right? But it is absolutely priceless when you get caught out 5,000 kilometres from home, when you're up the top of WA and you blow your transmission or something, that it's not going to get fixed within a few days, because the rules are they've got to be able to fix it within a few days, or you get towed to the next depot, etc, etc. You get taxis, you get hire cars, you get accommodation. There's all sorts of benefits there. They're pretty good, and for just about everybody, not everybody, just about everybody I know, it's worked out well. Now, the problem is there's limits and stuff, but when these staff on the phone are educated about it, maybe they haven't had enough training themselves. So sometimes you're entitled to things that they don't know you're entitled to. So you've actually got to know your entitlements from reading it, and from maybe perhaps ringing again, ask to speak to someone else, speak to a manager, because there's a lot of entitlements there. And there's one important one, and it's called remote area assistance. Okay, so it kind of overrides the you've got a 100k limit thing, and the 100k limit, well, or to the nearest depot, and the repairer, you know, needs to be able to fix the car within 3 days. So let's say you've got an engine, say you've got a Ford Ranger and it's got a cracked piston, you know, quite common having these engine problems and stuff, you know, amongst all the different brands of diesels, with the small engines in the large trucks towing the big, you know, so you've got to be prepared, guys. So I've said it before, really important to have that RACV, TQ, wherever you are, NRMA, whatever. I highly recommend that you have that cover, okay? They're really good, you know. I mean, yeah, it's not cheap. You're probably never going to need it, but wouldn't you rather pay, it's like insurance, wouldn't you rather pay the $200 a year and never need it than save the $200 a year? So I'm into value. I'm into, you know, calculated risk and value. Let's not get it if we don't need it. You know that. But I'm telling you now, if you're this is the rule. If you're traveling more than 100 k's from home, you need some cover that covers you for at least 100 k's, and the further you go, the more cover you need. If you're going to be 300 k's plus, you're going to want that cover, unless you've got plenty of dough and you're just prepared to pay the $1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000. Now, let's go a little bit further. These trips we do, right? Remote trips, touring Australia, okay? If you're not on a 2-wheel drive track, okay, they may not come and get you. Now, there is some companies, I'm not going to go into which ones do and don't because I don't really know, but I know there is some companies, whether they're insurance companies, towing companies or whatever, they will come and get you from anywhere. So please, in the comments, let us know, because you guys know which of the companies, which of the towing companies or insurance companies that will come and get you from anywhere, because we want to know that. But my point is, when you're touring, you tour as a group. If you've got a group of, I don't know, 4 cars, 5 cars, 6 cars, and you're going across the Simpson Desert, and one of them has a major failure, you've got enough fuel and enough cars left to be able to tow them out of there to where you can get help. Because you've got to watch these drivers around here. That you might, I don't follow people closely, but that Volvo, it was going slow, lost the accelerator up the hill, and I can't change lanes anyway. So easily distracted. Yes, sorry, I get that. You know, you can call it whatever you want. Easily distracted. Anyway, guys, I really strongly recommend you consider whatever type of roadside service and understand what's included and what's not. I will absolutely, until, you know, I'll let you know if anything changes, I will have my RAC total cover until the end of days. If anything changes, I'll let you know. Okay, she's over in the left lane now. I can see the problem. She is got kids in the back, and she's constantly, kids or a dog, she's spending 90% of the time looking into the back seat. Oh no, she's got time to fire up the cigarette. Anyway, whatever, it's all good. We just need to help you out, because you don't want to be on a trip like what's happened recently, and he's 800 k's from home. So towing, you know, there's going to be a cost there. The towing's going to cost about 5 years of cover, and he's still not covered for the next 5 years or the last 5 years. Do you know what I mean? See how it works? It only takes one incident in 5 years of being a few hundred k's away, you know. So anyway, guys, bada bing, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. That's it. So 7 minutes, but notice every word has got information and detail to it on reasons why you should, why you shouldn't, what you should consider. It might have been NRMA or something that somebody told me they'll come and get you from anywhere. In the middle of the Simpson Desert, they'll come and get you. Last I heard is, you know, there's a guy out in Birdsville or something like that, and he'll come out the Simpson Desert, you know, and come and get you with his 4-wheel drive tray or whatever it is. I haven't seen it, I don't know. Anyway, that's the deal. That's what's there. Apparently it's, you know, 5 or closer to 10 grand or something for recovery. Depends obviously how far across the desert you are, type thing. Do you know what I mean? So something to think about. If you're doing a Simpson crossing, have you got 10 grand in the bank to cover your recovery costs? Okay, because you need to be able to cover it, or you're not getting picked up. Otherwise your vehicle gets left there, right? Maybe they'll pick it up and store it for you and charge you extra later, I don't know. Or your vehicle gets left behind if you haven't got the money. Or are you going to rely on one of your friends or family to wear the cost or try and help out when it happens? Something to really seriously think about, because people don't think about it. Okay, so if you're traveling or you're planning to travel, not only do you need the money for the fuel, the accommodation, and a few services and repairs and usual running costs, food and all that sort of thing, you also need to have a reserve. Okay, so it goes to the next step. Have your RACV or not, but you still need money. Don't travel a long way from home remotely out into the outback of Australia unless you've got some money in reserve. And I'd suggest possibly $10,000 to $20,000 available, whether it's a redraw on a home loan. I'm not saying you've got to take it out and carry it with you in cash, but you need to have it available so that in worst case scenario event of a health problem, you know, one of the members of your family has a health issue where they end up going by ambulance, so make sure you got your ambulance cover. Okay, that's the other thing, right? Ambulance cover. That if somebody has one of these issues, what's your plan B? What's your plan C? Have you got at least 2 people that know how to drive the car to get off the desert? Do you know what to do? if someone gets bitten by a snake. You need to know these things. A few things to think about, guys. Anyway, that's about it. I've gone on 10 minutes. It's a bada bing, bada boom. I hope I've got you thinking. If you watch till the end, please put a comment. I watched till the end and loved every minute. And if they didn't, they didn't. It doesn't matter. But I think it's all good info. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. That's a bada bing, bada boom. Get your RACV just like me. See ya.